Hey guys, Cody with CJC Off-Road. Behind me is an extremely killer F-450. So often guys have asked about the 250, 350 trucks, but we've gotten a ton of comments and requests. Can you guys show us how you guys would build an F-450? And if I don't say so myself, I think this is one killer example. Now, a lot of people are gonna ask, why would you do this to an F-450? So from the outset, a lot of people actually are switching to the F-450 platform just due to the weight of modern day trailers, campers, other things. That extra payload capacity comes in very handy and actually keeps you under the legal limit. We've all seen plenty of guys who have 1500s and even 2500s, 6 sets of airbags underneath, and are trying to haul a trailer that is way too heavy. For some people, the 450 is the right platform right out of the gate. However, both aesthetically and based upon ride quality, customers very often reach out to us wanting to make improvements to this excellent platform. For those of you who are not familiar with Carli Suspension and what the benefits would be for an F-450 truck, we're gonna be putting a new leveling system on this truck. And what that's gonna do is bring the front of it up to fit bigger tires, as well as improve the ride quality and suspension travel of the truck. So for those of you who are using a F-450 off-highway, getting to job sites, horse trailers, things like that, you're also going to benefit from the extreme travel that this system introduces. It basically doubles the suspension travel of the truck, giving a lot more movement up front and keeping a lot of that harshness out of the cab. In fact, one of my favorite things about the F-450 platform is how tight it turns. Whether you have a Ram, Chevy, older Ford dually, sometimes we've all found that they don't quite turn as tight when you're in parking lots and in tough situations. The benefit of the F-450 is that wide track front axle is going to turn much sharper than a standard 350. I think it pretty much turns to the point where if you're not paying attention, you could very easily crush in that dually bedside just because of how sharp these trucks turn. Now moving on to this truck specifically, this truck is gonna have the 2.5, 3.5 Carli Suspension Backcountry leveling system. What the Backcountry means is that the shock package included with this truck is a 2.0 reservoir shock. So this customer's gonna be doing a little bit of off-highway driving, a lot of around town driving, and just wanted the softest ride as possible. You're also going to note that he went with the torsion sway bar. The torsion sway bar, while offering a ton of ride quality improvements across 250s, 350s, and 450s, one of the biggest benefits for it on this 450 truck is going to be the fact that with that wide track axle and a 37-inch tire, you're really going to need as much clearance in there. That's going to buy you about an extra inch on each side of the frame for tire clearance, so that's going to be huge when running these 37-inch tires. Also up front, you'll notice that the customer went with the Carli Suspension fabricated radius arms. There's going to be two benefits of those. Again, that tire clearance with that wide track front axle and that extreme steering angle, as well as the adjustable caster. So one of the biggest complaints that you'll see on Super Duty forums, things like that, is some of the wobble, some of the feedback. And what pretty much unanimously was determined to be one of the causes is very low factory caster. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, there's a service bulletin from the factory for these trucks. So with these radius arms, you can actually add up to 4 degrees of caster, which is very important when raising the front of the truck. Now, unlike most of the other options on the market that basically utilize a factory vulcanized bushing that has to essentially give just for the radius arm to pivot up and down, these arms are going to use a spherical joint, so that's going to allow for a lot more movement. So once you've freed up that front end with the softer springs, the softer shocks, that last little piece of the puzzle is going to be that radius arm joint that's just going to allow a little bit more movement and really result in an improved ride on and off the highway. Now moving on to the rear of the truck, we have a handful of options, with the very first option being doing absolutely nothing but changing the shocks. When you do this, you maintain that full F-450 towing capacity, in-bed capacity. If that's something you need, that's gonna be a perfect option, as the 2.5-inch coils will bring the truck perfectly up to level. Now moving from there, you can now actually put the Carli Suspension Progressive Adapacks on the factory 450 Leaf due to design changes, so you'll actually have to just change the complete leaf spring. Now starting at the very basic, we have the standard Carli Progressive Leaf Pack. That's going to lessen the capacity of that of an F-250. However, there are plenty of high travel bag options that are going to bring that capacity right back up. Moving from there, those of you with campers, full-time weight, whether that be a service body, fuel cells, things like that, we actually have 3 levels of higher capacity leaf springs for you. They're going to work very well in these 450 trucks. They're called the HD, XHD, and XXHD leaf spring options. If you do have questions, I would recommend getting your rear axle weight, figuring out what the setup that you're building is going to weigh in the back. Give us a call and we can set you up with the exact right leaf spring package for you. Now moving on to the wheel and tire package, this specific truck got 22-inch American Force Evos with a 37 by 1250 R22 Nitto Ridge Grappler tire. Now, while you've always heard us preach about going with as much tire as possible, at least rim as possible. There are definitely less options available. Also, some of these customers going with the dualies actually prefer the smaller tire, bigger wheel as far as the hauling capacity and the needs of the truck. However, that's gonna be very specific to you. I think this truck turned out killer. Well guys, I think most of you will agree this is an extremely good looking F-450 and a very good example moving forward for those of you who have these trucks and are interested in modifying them. If you do have any questions about what is the exact right setup for you, even if you are a dealer trying to set this up for your customer, give us a call. We'll be happy to set you guys up with the proper parts, get you in touch with the proper people, and get a good build headed your way. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, shoot us a call, give us an email. We're happy to help however we can. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time.